Hello, and welcome to the Godmother podcast. I am the Godmother, and I am so happy that you all joined us today. For those of you who are new, thank you. Appreciate you coming. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. For my returners, mwah, I'm so appreciative of the support that you give me. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. For those of you who don't know, I am the Godmother. And well, what does that mean? That means someone who is here to bring nourishment for your mind, body, and soul. And what does that look like? That looks like uplifting you, encouraging you, and motivating you, inspiring you towards you being a better person. What does that look like? That comes with conversations, communications, dialogues, topics around individuality, family and home, occupation, education, and community. With so much negativity that plagues our society and our community, I want to be able to take the testimonies that I have within me and share them in a productive and positive way in our society. Now, just for the sake of disclosure, I am no psychiatrist. I am no licensed technician or certification. I am just an individual who has testimonies of my experience, and nobody can take that from me. And I'm sharing them with you. Okay? I appreciate you taking the time. I'm sipping on my tea. Those of you that know, y'all know that I do my little tea. That's what I do. And I'm always open to any suggested blends. In addition to me being the godmother, I am an artist, an author, an event planner, and a motivational speaker. My art can be accessed from my website that you can access in my bio. I actually make customized art pieces. I also have a page on Pinterest and Instagram under Creative Productions. And creative is spelled Kryative. Kryative. Creative Productions. In addition to me being an artist, I'm an author. I have several publications available on Amazon for purchase. Once again, you can access my bio and see the links to my books. I have journals as well and a family book that I call Our Family Story that gives you the opportunity to track your family members and keep this particular family story as an heirloom to pass down from generation to generation, and they add to it. Once again, it is accessible through my bio. My email is available there too. If you have any problem accessing any links, please email me and I will send you the link. Now, as I told y'all, I normally stem around these basic topics. And today we're going to be talking about occupation. And I've labeled this particular video called Workplace Kindness. Okay? It is interesting, to me because I notice when we go to work, we chase the bag. Everybody want to make money, they want to do this. Sometimes we can have connections, sometimes we don't. But then you ask yourself, are they real connections or are they just able for them to pass the time while they're there? Sometimes we don't know. I've had a bit of both, right? I played my part in a bit of both, and I've experienced a bit of both. And I'm speaking on it, right? And so today, I'm going to talk around a couple of things, and then we're going to get to the question. But it sparked me because I noticed when you've worked in certain places, you could be thinking that you're forming bonds with individuals or people, and you find out, no, you're not. You just served a purpose for when you at work. I've even seen a couple of quotes there. You here to work. You ain't here to make friends. Okay. If that's what it is, that's fine. just don't make that seem as though that's what it is neither. It's one thing to be cordial and professional, but then it's another thing to where is it that now we're getting buddy buddy, but then it's not beyond the walls. So it's like you have a friend or you have a coworker, they want to know all your business and this and that, but then they don't call you when you're off work, they don't come see you, nothing. You only see them when you at this job, right? And so you begin to wonder, you say, well, you know what? Yeah, these not my friends. But then you got some people who actually want to be engaging with individuals, not because they just thirsty for friends, but this is just the individual that they are. They want to be nice. They want to be, cool, because I don't want to take whatever it is I'm going out in that real world and I'm not bringing it to this job and you ain't did nothing to me, but I'm open to getting to know you. I've been on both ends of it and I've also participated in both things. And so it took me through to ways that I've matured throughout my journey thus far. And I understand ways that I'm not going to perpetuate a relationship. I'm not going to make it seem like it's something when it's not. But I'm also going to be open if somebody wants to be able to take it further or get to know me, right? At first, I didn't do that because I wasn't used to it. Somebody said, hey, you want to go grab some lunch? No, I'm good. These are how relationships form. You come together, you get to talking, you know what I mean? And I notice some people are open and some people not. Today, I'm going to just really focus on those that are, right? If you have a situation where you're dealing with, and you at your place of work, your occupation, and you dealing with coworkers that don't want to be bothered, they're not inviting, they actually only talk to you at the job, but they don't go beyond it, that's fine. But I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about the ones that are open and that are nice and are sweet and are welcoming. Are you that in return? So I told you that we're talking about occupation, but I titled the video Workplace Kindness, and it sparked the question. What is a small way you can bring brighten a co-worker's day? Okay. That could be tomorrow, the next day you go to work, whenever. But what is a small way you can brighten a co-worker's day? Now, that could be a host of many things. And you don't have to just be grand. But if you feel like this individual actually just always has been welcoming, you know what I mean, nice, respectable, it is a good energy for the office or the company or the environment, what is one way that you can brighten, their day? I have, I travel on the public bus to get to work. And the bus driver is so sweet and she always just is so welcoming, right? And I was getting off the bus and I turned to her, I say, you have an amazing day on purpose. She's like, oh my gosh, I always say that. She was like, oh my goodness, I love that. She's like, do you have an amazing day too? I said, yes. When I seen her a couple of times next, I actually bought her a gift. She didn't even notice. She's like, oh my gosh. I said, yeah. I do that a lot. I'm the type of person where it's that, like, I don't celebrate Christmas. I do the holiday season. I'm really into Kwanzaa, but I'm more into the sharing and building memories and knowing how we should come together as a family and make those memories. I don't want the part where it's that I got to get overwhelmed because I'm spending. I want the part where I'm overwhelmed with love and joy spending time with my family. So that's what I do. But I also like to give back, right? So, like, around that time, my neighbors, I would give them something, but I also extended it and gave it to my coworkers. at the time. They weren't even expecting it because we actually did what they call it the Secret Santa. Secret Santa. We did that. I think it's what no. What's the other one? Grab bag. Grab bag. I'm tripping. We did the grab bag. So, you pull everybody's name and then you get an amount. Everybody get a certain amount, and that's what you got to spend. It was nice. It was beautiful. But I had already told myself, because remember, I'm the artist, I was going to give them something individually. So they never seen it coming. And I wanted that way because I didn't want it to make it seem like that I was doing that because I wanted something from them. You know, I have been the one where is it that I pop up at work and I may have more than one coffee, especially when I know that you drink coffee. I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? Or one day, and I've gotten a couple of coworkers on this. I'm like, you know what? I got lunch. You got lunch? Yeah, I got lunch. Am I balling? No. But I know I got enough to spend about 10, 15, or $12 on each one of us, and it's like four of us. Yeah. We put in this work. We get this job done. Why not? That's the same way when you go to the club. Everybody like, I got this round, I got this round. And sometimes you don't always have, you ain't always with a group to do that. I mean, that's another story. But you get what I mean? I love to be able to do that. And so many of us miss or ignore the opportunities to be able to give back to that coworker who always seems to just go out their way and beyond. I'm talking about when you walk through the door, they just as smiley and up to me like, oh yes, I'm gonna get something for him. I got him, or I'm gonna get something for her. What is one small way? One time I worked in an office, and it wasn't even Christmas. This was I believe it was around might have been March. And I had got to know a couple of the coworkers' personalities, and it was like about 5 of us in the office. And I decided that I wanted to kind of make them a shirt that kind of, really represented them. Remember, I'm an artist. And I remember I came, to work, and they was like, what? And they was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, yes. I promise you, if anybody's seeing this video, they know who I am, and they'll tell you, that's me. I would faithfully go and get coffee. I drank coffee straight for 25 years. 30 years. Did 30 years. Did 30 years. Okay, did 30 years. 30 years straight coffee every day. And when I moved to an area where I have been for a while, I have been going to the same coffee shop since I got there. And I got real familiar and, comfortable with the workers. I'm talking about I didn't even have to open my mouth. They just knew. I walk in, they make my coffee, and it was so delicious. But not only was my coffee delicious, the service was welcoming. You always knew they was going to be there. They was reliable. They got the order. They got me in and out. And I like to be able to have those opportunities that when you have those type of consistencies, especially in your job place, reward them. No, that's not the word I want to do. Show appreciation by doing something thoughtful from the heart. And I love when they don't see it coming. They're like, oh my gosh. I do it a lot at work. I love to do it at work. And they don't see it coming. And I play that role like I'm not even interested. And I always do certain things. Like one of the things is just in random conversation and dialogue, I'm always going to get their birthday. Right? I'm going to always get their birthday. Because sometimes just a simple happy birthday. Do you know how many people go through all their birthday and don't get one happy birthday? So sometimes when you know somebody's birthday, especially at your job, happy birthday. I've gotten little cupcakes before. A little single cupcake is like $4-5. I know there's a lot for a cupcake. But I mean, unless you go make some cupcakes, you see what I mean? Something that's simple. And yes, because I have a creative mind, I think like that. I've even gave away, it was only the females. I created them a mimosa bag. What I called it, a mimosa bag. And in that bag they had a little wine glass. It was this little wine glass. I found these. I had picked them up and I had several. A little wine glass. I bought a small bottle of champagne, and then I got the individual Tropicana orange juice. And then I think I had a CD or something in there. They weren't even expecting it. And my auntie, and I love how she always described me. She said, "You're so thoughtful." Because I remember, and I remember how people make me feel. And it was a quote that went like that. You might not always remember what a person does, but you'll always remember how they made you feel. And I remember that. That goes down to everything, everyone, down to the homeless individual that's out there. And even though that they going through their own challenges, they make it their way just to say, "Hi, well, hello, how you doing? I'm good. How you doing? I'm great." I've been like that for a long time. I wasn't always like that, but then I also was not working a lot when I was younger. Now, understanding that when you're in work environments, you want to make sure that you keep that energy in that environment good because that helps with performance. When was the last time that you just actually just did something small to make a coworker day, brighten a day? Have you ever done it? Do you do it shockingly? Right now, while I'm sitting up here thinking, because even down to where I work at, I don't really work in an office setting, so I'm really have a lot of autonomy, and I'm pretty much working pretty much by myself. But the thing is, this is that once I go in a building, I have a lot of individuals that I encounter, and I have to say, those consistent individuals that I encounter, they are amazing. They are consistent. They are reliable. They are welcoming. They are respectable. And I have done things for them. I'm so good to where is it that I've even asked them if I've left out to go to the, did you need anything? And they always say, "Thank you. No, I'm okay. No problem." I don't do it for everybody, but I remember those ones because it just be the little bitty things. And when you see the consistency and you feel how they feel, coffee is always good. When was the last time you bought a box Joe and took it to work? If your job don't have, some jobs have coffee all day long. Okay, I got real spoiled working in hotels because we always have coffee. I just, hey, but I know all jobs don't have that. All jobs don't have an employee room. All jobs don't have a break room. But when was the last time either you or somebody bought a box Joe and a dozen of donuts? I've done that too. They didn't see that. To all of those who do that and they understand what I mean, showing just the smallest bit of appreciation to individuals that you spend at least 8 hours with a day, what's wrong with that? Sometimes we all there to make money that, yeah, we don't even converse or dialogue or communicate, so you don't even get the chance to get to know one another. You know why? Because there's been so much strife, confrontation, chaos, that people get to the point, I'm just going to go to work and I'm going to focus. I ain't got time for that. But then you always got at least one individual that no matter what, they're going to always have that bubbly attitude. I draw off of those people because I'm like, man, if they could be like that, so can I. And I'm not saying they probably don't have a bad day. I'm saying that it's very consistent on how the energy they make me feel. And so when it comes to your job, this is about occupation. So either your job or your profession, the environment where you work at, where you be most of your time when you make your money. Now, if it's in your home, Unless you got people that's working there with you, then, I'm looking for people that work in places, environments where there's more than other people. Now, even though you might do work at home, is there a way that you could be able to, what's another coworker that you know that works for your company that works at home? Can you send lunch to them? There's ways to do it, but putting a difficulty like that maybe to the side for those of you that work in the same environment, right? This is where you go do your 8 hours, at least 6 to 8 hours, however hours many you work. What is a small way you can brighten somebody's day? I know you know somebody. I think a dozen of donuts is a half a dozen, maybe like between $7 and $10. And it's always easy to go there because those are good gestures. I used to work with an individual and she was so beautiful. Beautiful outside and inside. She used to literally cook for us at work. You hear me? I'm talking about she brought the hot plate and everything. When she came there with all the stuff, I looked, I said, oh my goodness. I said, bless your heart, baby. And she cooked, she prepared, cooked, cleaned it up, and we ate good. Now that's some gesture. Okay? She tugged all the stuff that I said, bless your heart. I love when I see people do that. When you see supervisors and managers just say, you know what, hey, what y'all want for lunch? Lunch on me. It used to be heavy. I remember it used to be heavy. Holiday parties, they don't have them like that anymore. Why? Is it not? Is workplace kindness really, really fading out? If you feel like that, what can we do to bring it back in? Because we all working. I love when I pass individuals, whether it be at work, whether it be in my neighborhood, and they just speak. I appreciate that. I appreciate when I go into a business or an establishment and the person that is the representative of this business or company, they welcome me. Hello, how are you doing? How can I help you? Oh, you make me want to just come back in just to get that feeling again. Instead of, yeah, can I help you? Girl, what's wrong with you? I didn't do nothing to you. Why is that? Workplace kindness is here. It happens. It's possible. And we need to grow it. And we can start with tiny steps. Little bitty ones. You ain't got to please everybody at the same. Start small. If you got about 50 people in your office, that's going to be hard for you to pay for everybody's lunch. I get it. Do you sit with 50 people all the time or do you talk to all 50 people? When you have something like that, that's where you utilize them greeting cards at. When you get your Christmas cards and you get them all, that's where you distribute all that. Wishing you the best. Or like if it's their birthday, it's their birthday and they doing something. You know what I mean? Or they sick, yeah. But you're not going to be able to extend it all the time to everybody. Is there something that you can do? Yeah. There's all kind of ideas. You could Google some. Like for example, you're in an office setting. I say it's about 25 of y'all sit in the office all the time. Okay? Maybe you're in a training session this year. You're starting a job. You want to be able to do something. The question is, what is a small way you can brighten a coworker's day? You can find a quote and print out several little copies in little wallet sizes, right? Cut them out. put your name on the back and be like, just wishing you the best. It could just be a positive quote. The fact that you went through all of that, a person be like that, and then you just set it on everybody's desk. And they're like, oh my goodness. You'll be amazed. Some people will stick it up their office. Some people will put it in their, you don't know. I'm just giving you an example. And that just came off the top of my head. I haven't done that, but I think I'm going to do that. I've done some things. And people remember it. I had one girl say that she was actually collecting stuff. I said, bless your heart. She was like, oh yeah. She's like, I don't play with my stuff. She's like, you guys, you give some nice stuff. Thank you. And it comes from the heart. When I give gifts or I do small gestures, it's from the heart. I'm cautious about cooking and bringing something to an establishment of business because the last thing that I want is to be responsible if anybody gets sick. So I be a little cautious of that. I do feel comfortable if I go and purchase something from an establishment because I have a receipt to show that we actually did get something from that. And if we have to follow up with any legal actions, I have proof of that. So that's why I don't mind. Sometimes just getting a pack of cookies, right? You get maybe a dozen or 2 dozen of cookies, and then you put them in a sleeve and give everybody a cookie. If you bake, that's on you. But like I say, I don't really do that unless we doing a potluck. Because some jobs do that. They all come together and be like, let's do a potluck. We do that. Yeah. I bring a dish. We go down the line and say, who what? Yeah. But what is one small way that you can just brighten up a co-worker's day? It's always a way that we could be able to bring brightness and goodness to somebody else. And because we work, majority of us have our profession or occupation, we're around other individuals. What is it? Could you pick up somebody and drop them off? Could you drop them off at home? Is that one way that you can brighten up their day? They ain't got to get on the bus or they ain't got to walk. I don't know what it is for you, but you know because you're around them individuals. I'm pretty sure it's one that has made you feel really good. Use this opportunity to do something for them. Some of us we frequent businesses, companies, organizations, and we always find this one individual, and normally somebody that's been there for a long time, they're just so welcoming. We get the bad or sad, but like I said, we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the good ones. The good ones that are welcoming, respectable, even professional, but make you have an experience where you want to return, you want to come back, or you want to work with them. Not somebody that's just be like, girl, I got to go deal with this dude today. Oh my goodness. Many of us have that, but what about that one that don't make you feel that way? Always show up. You know that one that no matter what, especially in you in jobs where it's that you gotta wait on a relief to get out. Remember that one that always on time? I'm talking about they so on time, they at least get there 15 minutes before. You definitely need to be doing something for them. I mean, like you can literally clock out at the time you're supposed to get out because this individual, they already sitting there waiting to clock in. Oh, they're the type of co-workers I like to work with. The ones that come through the door. Hello, everyone. How you doing? Oh, thank you. How you doing? What's way? What is one way? I've been sitting over here and I've been thinking, and like I say, the only thing that I could do is because I come across more individuals in the building with the environment setting that I work for. And so what I could do is more of something like I always do, something like a dozen of donuts, you know what I'm saying, or some coffee or whatever. The only thing is that everybody is not stationed in one place. And so I would have to get all around for them. So I would have to pick my days. And he gave me an idea too. I gave myself an idea. I think I'm gonna take a week and do like a spirit week. And then each day I'm a frame where I'm gonna get something from one of them. Because I think it's a total about 5 or 6 that I encounter You know what I'm saying? In the different departments when I'm dealing with in the environment that I work for. So, but that's something. You know what I mean? Um, I actually have made several copies of some very popular music tunes, and I made copies and I just gave them to my coworkers. They didn't even know. It was like, oh my God, now you have your own copy. It was like, oh my, I love to do that. And it makes me feel even better when I do it to people, co-workers who really deserve it. You know what I mean? They just, they make being at work worth being at work. You know that when you walk in there and you see them, or when they walk in and you see them, it's gonna be a good day. What can you do for that person? Do you know their favorite color? Do you know their favorite song? Do you know their favorite movie? I don't know. Maybe you could start asking a question. But we all got a way that we could be able to brighten a coworker's day. The environment that we place ourselves in for a long duration time has heavy weight on us emotionally, mentally, and physically. So why not do what's best or whatever is able you can to make that environment more comfortable, more cohesive, more welcoming. I get frustrated when I go in fast food joints because I feel like that's exactly what everybody just wants a dollar. They end up making a dollar, so it's like it's fast. It's hard to be welcoming. The only thing that you can do is just make sure when you take that order, you be respectable and you make me see a smiling face and a grinning face where I don't have to not think that I shouldn't come here no more. But it becomes difficult because it's such a fast pace and there's so much to do that mistakes gonna get made. You're gonna get overwhelmed, and it's gonna be hard to be in that state. That's why sometimes younger folks they excel in those because yes, it's more of their peers. When you grow in that type of environment, I mean in that industry, up the ladder, yeah, you'll have more opportunities to maybe see more because you're going to be meeting with more. You're going to be having more administrative, you know what I'm saying, functions. So I get that. But it bothers me when I see some fast food restaurants have those individuals who have that very negative energy. And so my thing is this is that that's the only way that I could describe it, but I feel like there's something more going on. That's why it's important. And most of them know that it is a of advertising and a promoting tactic. You gotta have somebody that got some smiles and some good energy to greet your customer because your customer like, oh, I'm not going to spend my money here. But when they have some hello, welcome, how can I? Oh, thank you. And it does make a difference. And when you have those individuals that's performing like that, we need to make sure we brighten up their day or do something nice. And I don't know who this conversation was for, but I know all of us could actually use this. It's somebody at your job, and don't be surprised that after you watch this video, you turn around and go to work and somebody do it to you. You be like, oh my goodness, I just watched the motivating video, and the lady basically stated that this is what we needed to have more of at our job. Yes, we do. And it can start with just little old you, starting with making that effort to just say, hey, this is just me having some workplace kind. Showing you appreciation for how you make me feel while I gotta be up in here working. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, so I got an oral activity, right? It says practice giving a sincere, specific verbal compliment to a coworker. Let me say that again. Practice giving a sincere, specific verbal compliment to a coworker. Think you can do that? Once again, it's not hard. Think about that one coworker that you know that goes above and beyond. If you could just express how you see them and how it feels, I know it would make them feel amazing. Practice those words. It's probably somebody that actually want to tell you the same thing, but they don't know how. I go in a lot of businesses and I see people do exceptional work, and I always tell them, I hope they paying you right. Good workers with great energy is hard to find and keep. And a lot of times businesses lose them because they don't want to pay them for their performance, and they should. So I advise with the oral activity to practice being able to give a sincere, specific verbal compliment to a coworker. I'm going to tell y'all what I'm going to do. I'm going to give the verbal compliment to one of the coworkers that's in the building of the environment that I work in, and I'm going to basically let them know I appreciate how every day that you show up. And the reason why I know that you show up is because the hours that we work are the same. And so when I come in, I see you, and when I leave out, I see you. The reliability that you give this job, that you give this position, aids and helps me for when I come here. Thank you for doing your job. Thank you for even wanting to be here to do your job and do it with such grace and respect and appreciation. Man, thank you. I know for a fact this individual has worked at this building for 15 years. I know. That's dedication in itself. And every time you see them, it's a smile on their face. Hello, how you doing? That part. And I'm glad that I actually thought about this because it gives me the opportunity. I've done things for this particular individual before. It's just going to prompt me to do something else. And so practicing, you know what I mean, a sincere and specific verbal compliment, it just also lets the individual that you're going to tell know there's somebody who recognizes what they do. I don't know who this message was for, but we're going to go back to, we talking about occupation, and I titled this video Workplace Kindness. And to tally back to the question, what is a small way you can brighten a coworker's day? I gave you a few examples. I know that there is somebody in your workplace that you see that you know that you could just go ahead and do a good gesture for. And if we get more of that happening, not saying that it doesn't happen at all, I'm just speaking of now, we get more of that happening and get that momentum flowing, we're going to feel better about going in these spaces because it's like, man, I know what this 8 hours going to bring, but even though I know that I got to work this job, look at the cohesive and collectiveness that I have of my coworkers. I'm thankful for that. And many of us don't have that. But for those that do, you better do something nice for that person or them individual. It's going to come back to you twofold, double times, triple times, okay? Now, as y'all know, we always do the T. And what is T? I come up with an acronym. It is thankful, experience, and accomplish. I am thankful that I have a source of income. I am thankful that I have gifts and talents that can make me an honest income. I am thankful that I have a mindset to be able to not just wait for things to happen to me, but make things happen for me. Okay. My experience, I've had a lot of testimonies and trials and tribulations that allow me to say, I'm not just going to give up. I'm going to tie a knot at the end of the rope that I felt like that I was on, and I'm going to climb my way up. I went from a dropout in school all the way to a college degree. My experiences is that I did not allow the challenges that I went through to just tear me down completely. My experience is that there was something inside of me that said, let me keep going. That experience was me having children and being able to know that, man, I got somebody else to take care of. That experience gave me reason, motivating to keep going. That experience of understanding that you would take your last breath to ensure that they have theirs. I wouldn't change it for the world. And I know it's a lot of people that don't get that. My accomplishment is that I was able to take all of the experiences that I went through and turn them into something positive. I made lemonade out of lemons. I took shit that was thrown at me and used it to fertilize, and I am blossoming. I took being in the gutter and used that mud to swim the clear waters. I take what was thrown at me and I use it to build my own empire. My accomplishment is me being able to keep going when many people feel they can't. And I want to be that example, that motivating, inspiring godmother to show you and tell you and always give you that message of resilience, that it is possible to not give up. I don't know who the message for or who it was for. If it was not for you, please share it to somebody that can use it. Let's get better in our workplace. Make sure the next day you go to work, you do something nice in a small way to brighten someone's day. Practice a sincere verbal compliment to give to a coworker. I'm going to ask you once again, please, if you have not, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. It will be greatly, greatly appreciated. I am so thankful that you all have joined me again on another episode of this Godmother podcast. I hope that you are enjoying my content. I hope that you have shared my content with someone else who you know that can benefit or use the message that's being sent. I compiled these topics and the material for the content because I focus on these subjects because it's everyday. Individuality, family and home, education, occupation, and community. We're faced with those topics whether we want to or not. And so I hope that the content that I'm bringing you is helping some of you all in some way. Until we meet again, I am wishing you all an amazing day on purpose. And you could even use that and share that dang on quote with someone, because just think, when somebody tell you have an amazing day on purpose, that's some good wishes. And so that's what I'm going to wish for you. Until we see again, be safe, Have a good one, you guys.